Hello and welcome. This is Deep Dive and I'm Tiffany Meier. Let's kick off with the viral video from the Georgia legislative hearing on Thursday. The Trump campaign's legal team presented the video, saying it's surveillance footage from the vote counting center in Fulton County, Georgia, which was provided by State Farm Arena. The video appears to show Georgia election workers pulling boxes of ballots from underneath tables on election night. President Trump and his lawyers say it's evidence of cheating. The clip has since gone viral. Let's unpack it a bit. According to witness testimony, this area is where absentee and military ballots were being tabulated on election night. Jackie Pick, a lawyer who is volunteering with the campaign's legal case, described what was happening. The video, taken at 10:37 p.m., suddenly shows the room almost empty, with just 4 people remaining, which Pick says is in line with the affidavits from witnesses. The 4 allegedly continue counting ballots from around 10:30 p.m. until about 1 in the morning, unobserved and unsupervised. Pick said that around 11 p.m., the footage appears to show workers pull boxes of ballots out from underneath a tablecloth. State officials have denied there is anything untoward going on in the video. No one has yet explained who placed the containers under the table or why it was done. The chief investigator for the Georgia Secretary of State, Francis Watson, disputes that poll observers were told to leave. Georgia GOP Chair David Schaffer pointed out the video shows that observers were not there, and therefore ballots were counted unlawfully and in secret. It's not clear what's being pulled out. It looks like ballots, but it could be something else. Some are saying it's not fraud, but rather organized crime. Trump tweeted during the hearing, "Wow, blockbuster testimony taking place right now in Georgia. Ballot stuffing by Dems when Republicans were forced to leave the large counting room. Plenty more coming, but this alone leads to an easy win of the state." A former Central Intelligence Agency CIA officer, Gary Brenston, told the Epoch Times he is worried the irregularities present in this election may point to a bigger scheme. He told the Epoch Times, quote, "If you want to steal an election of the United States, what do? You go into the swing states. You target the urban areas where you have the largest vote count," adding they need to provide a massive, significant, large number of votes. Therefore, they have to go to large Democratic cities. He alleges the vote counting was stopped in some large cities like the one in Georgia because the persons behind the fraud scheme found out they needed to produce more ballots to fill a gap bigger than they expected. Brenston didn't provide evidence to support his claim, and the Epoch Times issued a notice saying they can't independently verify his claims. But what is noteworthy is he said this before the surveillance footage came up in Georgia, which seems to suggest there could be some truth to his claims. So going back to the video, what do we see? Around 10 p.m., according to witness testimony, a lady with blonde braids comes in and tells everyone to stop counting and to go home. The video shows people clearing out, but not everyone leaves. The ones who stay behind are still counting. And here, the table covered with a black tablecloth was placed there earlier that day at around 8:22 in the morning by the same woman with the blonde braids who told people to clear out. She's still there. They pull out what appear to be suitcases, 4 in total, from underneath that table. According to the video, the 4 who stayed behind continued counting ballots till around 1 a.m., unobserved during this time as the press and Republican observers had cleared out earlier in the night. Georgia elections officials have since said those were not suitcases, but regular container boxes used to store ballots. That still raises the question, what were they doing under the table the whole time, and why were they counted once everyone else had cleared out? Georgia Governor Brian Kemp told Fox News on Thursday the video was of great concern. He said there needs to be an explanation from election officials. He said, quote, "I think it would be good for Raffensperger to come out and say exactly what was going on. But I think this also gives him an opportunity to really look at specifically at the Fulton County recount that's still going on to make sure that that recount has been done in the right way and that we know if these were ballots, were they counted correctly, and if they were signatures on them." Now let's go back to election night. According to statements by counting officials on the night of November 3rd, a pipe burst caused a 2-hour delay to vote counting in a room where absentee ballots were tabulated at the State Farm Arena. A local attorney filed a records request about the burst pipe. He told the Epoch Times he only received a brief text message exchange about the incident, describing it as highly exaggerated, a slow leak that caused about an hour-and-a-half delay, and that we contained it quickly. It did not spread. That's according to the text conversation that the attorney, Paul Zukowski, shared with the outlet. He went on to say there was no burst pipe. Turns out it was a leaking toilet. He said in an email, as it turns out, there never was a burst pipe or water main, which some news outlets reported. He told the Epoch Times in an email the water inside State Farm Arena was caused by a leaking toilet, which, as you know, can be remedied by simply hand turning off the water supply line to the toilet. In any event, the leak was minimal and was resolved in the early morning hours, well prior to the time the election staff halted the counting. Lots of developments. The Georgia House of Representatives said on Friday hearings will be held next week following the video with the suitcase-like boxes. House Speaker David Ralston stated it is imperative that we ensure free and fair elections that inspire confidence and certainty in the result. The focus of the committee's work next week, Ralston's office said, is ensuring the security and efficiency of the January runoff election for 2 Senate seats. Trump lawyer and former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani wrote that Georgia state legislature now has no choice but to assume its powers under the U.S. Constitution to select electors for Trump. He cited the so-called smoking gun video that was displayed during the hearing. Giuliani wrote, "The Georgia middle-of-the-night theft of thousands of votes changes everything, which it and Biden is not elect anything. Looks like Biden Democrats doing a bank heist." In 5 states, there are 800 sworn statements of eyewitnesses to Democrat cheating, states changing. Georgia certified former Vice President Joe Biden as the winner of the presidential election in the state. Trump hasn't conceded the race, and his campaign has said that a lawsuit will soon be filed in the state. The Peach State will begin a recount requested by the Trump campaign. Since Georgia has a narrow margin, the results could still be overturned. To do so, the Trump team needs evidence, such as the video. If enough evidence comes up, then the legislative or Supreme Courts could overturn the results. Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence attended a rally in Georgia on Friday, and Trump is attending a rally on Saturday. Thanks for tuning in to Deep Dive. Let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Tiffany Meier, and see you soon.